Welcome back to another episode of the Realness Meets Logic podcast. This episode is a little bit more special than others.
Mhm.
I'm joined by a real special guest. Care to introduce yourself?
All right, so my name is Zeta Barber. I'm originally from Chicago. Moved out here to Vegas, for the change of scenery and to be closer to my family. Um, and we here just networking.
All right, that's what's up, man. So, before I start my podcast, I started bringing in icebreaker games.
Yep, yep.
So, we going to get us a little icebreaker game in. So, the game we going to play, I don't got no name for it because I literally just came up with it like 5 minutes ago. So so we're gonna go we're gonna do 3 rounds.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna say a word and you gotta say something that rhyme with it like just like that.
Okay,
Like
let's get it.
you get like 1 second, 2 seconds max to say the word that rhyme like that. And we gotta keep
Okay,
going back and forth.
let's run it.
I bet. Cat.
Dog. Oh.
Ah,
Look, I,
got
look,
your
I,
ass.
I didn't mess it up. Look, I'm doing the things.
Ah,
Look,
dang, already.
that was a test trial, man. We got it. I got you. I'm doing things that's
All
in
right,
the same category. That's me.
all right. So that's round one. You
So I
know what I'm
guess I'm gonna
saying?
go towards you then, huh?
Yeah, dude. Somebody else would have been like, we just getting started. It don't
Right,
count. But no,
right.
that count.
No, that counted. Yeah.
All right. You come up with a word.
Catapult.
Fatafo. Wait, what?
Look, I have to make it even. Look, we gotta even.
Wow. You
We
know what?
gotta even the score.
All right. You know what? My turn.
Let's get it.
Is the connection good?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What it say?
It
It's
was
like,
it was a little shaky.
yeah, it's good though. We good.
All right. Orange.
Verify.
Yeah.
Look, nicely
Yeah.
played.
Yeah.
Nicely played.
All right. Let me go for real. Let me go for real. Art,
Bart,
fart,
cart,
part,
mart.
start. Wait, what? That ain't a word. Dang. All right. Enough of that. But how you doing, man? How you doing?
Blessed. Alive, able to move around, do everything, see my kids. I'm blessed. I can't complain about it.
All right, brother. So now we finna get into this podcast. So you mentioned you from Chicago, right?
Most definitely. Born and raised
What part of Chicago are you from?
the South Side. So raised over there on 48th and Drexel. That's kind of on the lower end, east side. Um, it's by where Obama had his houses and everything, or at Hyde Park, or I'm trying to say what other historical things are over there. Bronzeville, if that ring a bell. Yeah, so it's over there, and that all of that's like in the same low end Lakeshore Drive type area.
Oh, I'm not from the South Side.
Yeah, I know you from the west, but you ain't been
I'm from out west.
you've been to the Lakeshore Drive before. I know you. Yeah,
Probably
but
on
it's over that
on
way.
the way to out west.
Yeah.
Nah, for
Yeah,
real though. I got peoples out there though. I got peoples out
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, I
I
got
know a
people out
couple
there.
people. I went to college out there in Melrose Park, so I used to be out west uh, for a fair amount of time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
West side's the best side, but we ain't gonna go there.
yeah. We're not gonna go there. We agree to disagree, whatever.
All right. So with you being born and raised, and
Hmm.
you went to middle school, high school, grade school, all that, right?
Yep.
So what was your experience going to school in the South Side of Chicago?
This is gonna sound super cliche, but it was a typical. You walk through or walking to school or walking back from school, you see the drug dealers on the corner. It was
Mm-hmm.
predominantly black because I was in a lower income area, so didn't have too much interaction with like other races. But we do stay in Chicago, so you bound to see a little bit of everything. If you just go up the road, and I did kind of stay in that area.
Yeah.
Uh, it was bad. The teachers was there for a paycheck, so you didn't really get you know as much learning and all of that like you would have if you would have went to like a charter school or a private school or all of that. But I said that going to public school, especially in that area, it gave me resilience, man. It taught me to have tougher skin, and I feel like it better prepared me for like life and for all of the things that's coming up now. So,
Man, I feel that, man.
yeah, yeah.
So were like the teachers, because you said that they were just there for a paycheck. Were they
Most
like
definitely.
passing students along, just like getting them through grades?
Oh, most definitely. What you got a 59%? They finna boost it up or whatever to get you a D or whatever just to get you out their way. It was a lot of cases where it was that. Not saying that all of them was like that. It was some teachers that was that was there for like the betterment, and they from the suburbs or whatever, but they come to the lower income areas to try to get us up to that area. So not all of them was bad, but the majority of them would they had that mentality like, hey man, I'm just here to get paid, sitting down, throw some work at us, and then send us about our way.
Got you, got you.
Yeah.
So how was like the social scene in school, like with amongst your peers? Like how was that?
I mean, it was good. Everybody was. I'm trying to find an appropriate word for it. Uh, Everybody was super superficial. Like you had to have the J's, you had to have like
Mm,
the name brand clothes. Even if we wore uniforms, like you had to show that you had, or you had to show or wear that you had money, or if that makes sense. You have to have a certain type of demeanor and swagger to survive out there. That makes sense. So if you didn't have the clothes and you was wearing Pro Wings or some Payless shoes, you had to have that. I'm witty as heck, and I'm finna roast you, even if you got all of this money on your body and all of this other stuff. So,
yeah,
uh, it was like that. You had the crowds, man. You had the bougie lower income people that always had the mics and the polos and the pellies and all of that stuff. And I'm kind of old, so I don't know y'all don't wear pellies no more, but that was a thing back in the day. So the Patrick
way back in the
Ewings and
day.
all of that. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that
it
was
was
a thing
cool.
way back in the day.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
The Pelly jackets, Pelly
Yeah,
coats.
yeah. Now them things used to be cold though. I
They
need to
they
bring it back.
was, they was.
Yeah.
But it's a time and a place for everything.
That
That
is.
time and place has passed.
Yeah. Hey, they say nothing new is under the sun, man. And it's gonna revolve back around. It's gonna have its day again.
Hey, you right. I ain't gonna lie. Like the way they doing things now, they might take the Pelly coat, slap a
Yeah.
whole new name on it, and call it a new type of brand.
Yep. Yep.
So they probably did it already.
Yeah. Probably so. Probably so. But
So
I ain't never
like
trying to go back to that code. I'm trying to stay where it's hot. I ain't trying to see no more summer, none of
exactly.
that.
You know what? I'm glad you said that
Yeah.
because I came here when I was 13. So I ain't go to high school out in Chicago.
Yep.
I left for eighth grade. So I went to until seventh grade.
I got you. I got
But when I had moved here, it was like a lot of middle schoolers and like high schoolers as well.
you.
They would tell me like, "Oh my God, it's so not fair. It's effed up. We don't get no snow." Bro, I was like, "What?" It was like, "I want the snow that be on the TV." I had to break it down for them. I'm
Yeah.
like, "No, you don't. You
Cause
know
we
what it
look,
means."
we ain't get snow days or none of that. If
Oh
it's
God,
6 feet
oh
of snow
God.
outside, you walking your butt through that snow, and
I
that 6 feet
said that.
cold.
I said that.
Yeah.
And not even just walking through them. Even if you do get a snow day, though, is it really a snow day? Because you
Oh no.
spending a day shoveling the snow,
No.
salting the ice.
Yeah.
What? They don't know nothing about go warm the car up.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you having to fight for parking spaces and leaving like the little cones and chairs.
Exactly.
Like they don't want all of that, man.
At all.
At all.
And
It's good to
at
visit. Go
all.
visit, do your little thing downtown, but then get out of that, man.
Exactly. And the thing is, like, I tell them like this, like even just off the looks,
Yeah.
it only look visually appealing for like what, 10 minutes,
Yep.
20,
Then
30.
everybody walking on it, driving on it. Yeah, it's black.
Exactly.
So
It's
it is.
gray, black
Yeah.
ice,
Yeah.
disgusting. The sky is just, it don't even look
Gloomy.
smoggy. It's just covered.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Like the attitudes is low key kind of justified because it's a
Uh-huh.
very gloomy and depressing energy there.
Yep.
It's so heavy.
Yeah.
Like
Most
here,
definitely. Most
it's more light, it's more open. You
Yeah.
got your people. Don't get me wrong. You got them everywhere you go.
Hmm.
But as far as like the overall atmosphere, it's so
It's
much
different.
more clear and it's lighter here.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm
I
starting to realize
remember,
that. I'm starting to see it.
bro. I literally had went to Chicago like with my cousins and like
Hmm.
I think it was a few years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, yeah,
And me, I'm used to, I'm Vegas culture. No offense to Vegas, no
yeah.
offense, but y'all got some manners.
Yeah.
You feel me? So I'm not even trying to bag on my own city, but on some real stuff. Like I had held the door for this one young lady on that west side of Chicago,
Yeah,
and she turned around, sized me up, looked at me crazy, I'm like the fuck, like
yeah.
I was like, I'm trying to hold the door.
There's that whole like, and I get it. Women empowerment is a thing. I support it, fully support it. But women want to be, for themselves. So you opening the door, or whatever. It's basically like them submitting themselves, and I guess they see that as an issue. You know,
And that's a
Especially
whole
being
nother
from where we
issue.
from, they want to do everything by themselves, and it's like, okay, it's cool. I'm gonna do your thing.
Exactly.
Yep.
But I feel it though, because they low key gotta be hard like that
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
because of the environment.
Yep.
And that's a whole nother conversation though. We could be on that topic for a while.
For a minute. For a
For
minute.
real. But
Yeah.
getting into my next question, what inspired you to become a barber?
Back when I was growing up, it wasn't what it is now. It's not this social media thing with, trying to get all of the views and all of that. Uh Barbering for me, you know, growing up in the city, my barber was my therapist, he was my dresser, he was a person, my life coach, he was everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um and essentially that's why I learned how to be a man. And I wanted to bring that into like today's time because I feel like the barber culture itself is swaying so far away from it. Like everybody is just trying to cut all of the celebrities' hair and do $150 haircuts or 150 plus haircuts, and it's getting away from what we really supposed to do. I feel like barbers are supposed to be mentors. We're supposed to be, the people that be like, hey man, you got to get your grades up in school, or I'm finna shave your hair so you look like a old man, or we're supposed to be that person like, all right man, I've know that you not so much in tune with like the culture and how to dress. So let me kind of sway you and guide you or embrace you to do your own thing. So I just try to bring that old school stuff back into the newer age barbering.
It's needed, man. Like
Yeah.
I literally was talking to another barber. I want to
Yep.
get him on the podcast too.
Yep.
I'm gonna
Yep.
get him. You know his name, Jay. I'm gonna get you on here.
Yep. Yep.
We in
Hey, look,
talks.
I'm down for it. Look.
Yeah. So he pretty much was talking about kind of the same thing you was talking about,
Yeah.
how he does it in a way of being like a therapist and like a counselor and like being there for people in a certain way and
Hmm.
actually being a member, like a beacon of light in the community, like how
Yeah.
pastors are.
Yeah.
Low key, the barbershop is a church. Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
And
Low
everywhere
key.
you go, or in the city, the barber shops were the neutral grounds. There were no where I
Yeah.
was at. There wasn't no oh, this is where the BD's at, so you can't go to this shop. The barber shop was a neutral ground. You had people from you had the Mo's in the barber shop, BD's, GD's, everybody, and in there it was like a collecting pot. That's where everybody was open. They got to talk. And it was cool to see that. Like I know that y'all outside of these doors down the street, y'all don't rock with each other. But in here,
Hmm.
everybody's cohesive. Everybody's on the same mission. We all chopping it up. Ain't no hostility. We all good.
It
Like,
ain't like that no more.
no, no, it's not.
Nah.
Mm-mm.
Even on my side of town, like it was the barbershops and the churches. Like even if you was
Yeah,
into it with somebody, like you go into that church, you good. That's like you. That's the safe spot.
yep, yep,
They gonna catch you when you come out if they choose to wait that long.
yeah. But
But
while you
they
in there,
not
you
coming. They not
good.
right. They not going in there on no BS.
Yep.
But now the times done got so disrespectful
Mm-hmm.
and reckless now. Like I've been seeing stuff like YNs or young dudes with that's being misled and misguided.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
my cousin, he's still in Chicago. He had came out here for a little bit, and he
Mm-hmm.
had showed me a picture of this dude. What his video? This dude, he had a sweatshirt, like a hoodie,
Yeah.
and some sweatpants, and he lift the hoodie up, and
Mm-hmm.
you see like a whole AR-15,
And that's
and
how
it's
it is.
like
And to put
exactly.
this into perspective for people that are not from Chicago, we are one of the strictest places with gun laws. It's like you have to go through so many courses and trainings and have so many certs to have guns out there. So for somebody to be walking around with a whole fully auto or semi-auto weapon, that ain't the move, man. Especially not out
Yeah,
there.
that's crazy,
Yeah.
man. And then it's like, and then just the energy, just for real. Me being 22, me being a
Hmm.
young man, doing the things that I'm doing, and me being from where we both from, it's like I just be like, man, like come on,
Yeah.
like I want better for my people. I do.
Yeah.
Like, and don't get me wrong, I get it. Like you live a certain lifestyle, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. You got to protect yourself. You
Definitely.
win that lifestyle. That's what come with it. So that's how you defending yourself. Cool,
Yeah. Yeah.
but not cool, but understandable. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
I can understand that.
Because you put in a
But
situation where you're forced to do that. You know, a lot of people they go to the gangs
exactly.
and all of that because they don't have fathers, so they need that inclusiveness.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the OGs are well. Actually, I feel like the young people they got all the answers. You know, they not trying to listen to the old heads. Like you said, whenever I go back to the
Mm-hmm.
city, my cousins, my this, my that, everybody strapped up like we finna go to war, man. And I'm like, this is
Yeah.
not the type of lifestyle that you're supposed to be living, man. You're supposed to live life and live it abundantly, not be scared every day when you walk outside that you gotta, use your peace because it's either I'm not gonna see tomorrow or you. So, and I hate that everybody
Mm-hmm.
got that mentality. And I tried to talk to them. Like my younger cousins, they out there, they doing their thing. I get it. The environment forced you to believe that you had to go this way. No matter
Mm-hmm.
what I preach to you, you live in that life. So I could be
Yeah.
in Georgia or Las Vegas saying, "Hey man, you got to do better," but I'm not going through the trenches with them. Well, I'm no
Mm-hmm.
longer in the trenches with them, so they really not trying to hear what I'm trying to say, and or the OGs that be out there, they ain't trying to hear what they trying to say either because it's a new time and a lot of people don't adapt with that time. So it's bad, man. It's bad right now.
It is. I feel like it's the mindset.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I feel like it's the mindset. And like when we talk about leaders and being a follower, first off,
Mhm.
I'm both. I'm both. I'm a
Yeah.
leader and a follower.
You got to be. That's what makes a excellent leader.
You
You're
feel
an
me?
even better leader for that.
But I only follow the things that I feel relate to what I'm doing or what I feel I can respect or
Yep,
the things that I feel is actually going to be positive and productive for me.
yep,
I don't let anything just leave me. And that's why I feel a lot of these youth go wrong when it comes to that is the mindset. It's like they choosing these leaders.
yeah.
They choosing these leaders like, okay, you my big homie, or like they chosen for them.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't
Mm-hmm.
have, and a lot of them don't have minds of their own. Let's
Yeah,
be honest. Let's be real. Or at
yeah,
least they're not using their own conscious thinking.
yep,
Like you heard the saying where they say, if your friend go jump off a bridge, you gonna jump too.
yep. And a lot of
A
them
lot
people
of
they
them
put
is
they
jumping.
off
You
the
feel
bridge
me?
with them. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Exactly. And I
Yep.
just feel like one, they need to be able to listen
Mm-hmm.
because they don't have all the answers. And clearly they listening to somebody.
Yeah.
They just listening to the wrong person.
To the wrong, the wrong person.
Because they listening. They just
Yeah.
listening to the wrong person. So it's the mindset thing. And then the music too,
Yep.
because I'm big on vibration and energy and intention. So
Mm-hmm.
with the music scene as well, all this whole like kill 'em up, kill 'em, shoot 'em, bang bang. Like me personally, I'm from some of those. I'm from that way, but I carry myself a certain way, and I always gravitated more towards Southern rappers.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I never gravitated towards like no dirt on their name, but like the Lil Dirt, Lil Fo, like look they fired. Don't get me wrong, and I
And
love
they
that they
own
was able to
perspective.
put
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
yeah, I love that they was able to put their cell phone to put their people on with their craft.
Yep.
I do that they was able to ride that wave of drill, cool. But that's
Mm-hmm.
not my style. Like I don't mind gangster music, but it's like, what is it about though?
Yeah.
Like you gonna shoot this dude for what? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong. All violence, I ain't gonna say all violence is wrong, but violence like that can be wrong. But it's like, what are you doing it for? Like, okay, he did this to my woman. I'm gonna go handle that. Or
Yeah. Yeah.
he stole from me. I'm gonna go da 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 da. But no, it's like, I see the bow 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 bow. Like what?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a lot of senseless, reckless, nonsense music. It's to the point where
Yeah.
they look up one day, they don't even know why they doing what they doing.
Lil Durk in jail now. One of the people that's leading the youth. He's in jail now, and it's like I don't know why they don't see that. Like, all right, man, if I follow this lifestyle, this is gonna be the outcome for it. But I don't know. It is what it is. Drill music is cool. You know, they got the UK doing it now in their own little flavor and all of that. But I feel like once Chief Keef and them came and they it's like overly exploited that, and in the
Mm-hmm.
city, you know, that's all we listen to. We gonna support our own, well, to an extent, we gonna support our own in the city. So you driving around, all you hearing is Lil Durk, Chief Keef, you know, talking about
That's
the
true.
ops and all of this. Like it ain't no way that everywhere I go. Like, yeah, man, where you from? Oh, I'm from Chicago. Oh, you from 63rd? Or you from da da da? Like, come on, bro.
Right.
Like, is that the only thing that y'all know about the city, bro? And you know, that's what that's how it's portrayed. Like outsiders to outsiders and us to center. You know, we
Yeah,
think that that's the only way. We trying to get the G wagons and all of this other stuff, and we see Dirk and them killing people, and that's what they got. So you know, that got to be the way I gotta go. You know, so I think with that media and like you was tapping on with that drill music and stuff, it set us on a dark path. Like, you know, back in the day we had what Kanye West, Twista, Jamie Foxx, if you
mm-hmm.
want to include them. You know, that was a different era, man. And that music was decent from our side. But now it's good. But you got to do that in doses. Like if I'm listening to drill music, I'm in the gym trying to work out. I'm not finna ride
Right,
down the street and
right.
then mess up my mentality. And I'm you know I'm on
Mm-hmm.
high alert now. Like that ain't good for your mental.
I'm glad you touched on that. Facts, because that do
Yeah,
go to your mental.
yeah,
Because even if you don't think that it's affecting you directly, it go to your
hmm,
subconscious mind.
definitely,
And
definitely.
that's where it really becomes a problem. Because you
Yep.
roll, like you said, you rolling down the street, you listen to this music talking about, I'm finna kill woo woo wop, I'm finna kill dude, whatever. And then
Hmm.
you on the back of your mind, you see some dudes that you ain't really messing with like that. It's
Yep.
like, especially if you got peace on you.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
And most of them keep peace on them.
Yep.
So you already got music that got you TTG trained to, like, they got you ready to go. And you
Yep.
got
Yep.
the peace on you. You got that influence. You got the methods to get that
Hmm.
the action handled and well to get the action done.
Hmm.
And it's just nothing but space and opportunity.
Yep. 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 Yep.
And
Yep.
that music set the tone for all of that.
It
Just
definitely
right
do.
there.
Yeah.
Like when people was listening to like that kind of music, I was on like Ti, Two
Yeah.
Chain,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
even to this day, like I'm on Dolph or this dude
Hmm.
named Tracy T. He from Atlanta. I like
Yeah.
his music too. Payroll Giovanni from Detroit.
He actually nuts. He go crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
He on that get money stuff. I like
No,
that.
I
That's
rock with
my
it.
kind of music. That's my kind of
Yeah.
music. Get some money. Talking
Yeah.
about get some money. What you talking
Yeah.
about? But yeah, bro, it's just so sad just how manipulated they are. They don't even see the manipulation. And
They
back to
don't.
Dirk, because I'm gonna be 100, because we on realness meets logic. You
Hmm.
feel me?
Hmm.
Gotta keep it real and logical. So when Dirk did that, I was disappointed because I get it. You got an image to protect or to live up to. You still half in the streets, one
Yeah.
foot in, one foot out, whatever. You got whatever point you got to prove. Like, ain't you Muslim anyway? So
Look, look, it's a whole lot of flow in that.
exactly, it's like at this point, what are you doing it for? Just to prove that you still that guy?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You not that guy, King. You
And it
been
ain't
out the
even
hood,
Dirk though, man. It's his OG, man. His pops was in it and all of this other stuff. So he's trying to live up to the name of his pops. Like, not saying that I know Dirk and we best friends and we dap up
right?
every time we see each other, but the Dirks and King Vons and all of them, like, I knew them when they was like young, like in elementary school. Used to see them riding around there. Now they was on the same stuff back then too. So the stuff he be rapping
Mm-hmm.
about, I won't say that it's too far from the truth.
Right.
But you see them doing their thing back in the day, and he really wasn't. He had potential to be something else. Like
Mm.
musically, that man was into like jazz music and some more stuff. Like you could have went so many different routes. And I get it. You exploit it. You tried to exploit the system, but in return, you got exploited. Then you doing
Mm.
that work. Cause sex sales, drug sale,
Yep.
money sale, all of that stuff sells. So you become like, all right, if I
Mm-hmm.
want to blow up, I need to talk about this. And what better way to do it if I'm from the city than talk about the drugs and the killers and the women? So he played his part to get ahead, but then he continued it. Like you could have broke free from
Exactly.
everything and started talking about buying homes, owning stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
he got this little stuff going on here and there where he tried to buy the projects out. And I don't think that played through. I don't think there's gonna be any in jail right now, so I don't think it's gonna happen. So he have his little glimpse of all right, he's a good person. He just making music about this, but your
Yeah.
music. is ultimately what's changing people. Don't let everybody know that you're trying to, rebuild the projects and, boost up the Section 8 housing so they can look fancy and all of this other stuff. Nobody's going to continue to talk about that because that's not in your music. They're going to vibe off of what you're talking
Hmm.
about with you and the OTF crew, and that's what they're going to run with, man.
I will say this though, he did have like some positiveness in his image
Yeah,
that I
yeah,
rocked with. Like, don't get me wrong, the music he was making wasn't the best. He had like some positivity in there. Like it leaned more towards getting money and less to the killing. He'll
yeah,
throw the killing in there, but it did kind of reduce a little bit. I'll give that to him.
yeah, most definitely,
And
most definitely.
he did like start bringing up like the more family man image.
Yeah,
One locked in with his
yeah,
fiance, India. Like he did kind of do that, but he did do that. He did change that image and that narrative.
hmm,
However, where I feel he messed up at, and what I don't respect is the stuff he was doing behind the scenes. Like apparently he was moving a little shiesty or paying other dudes to move a little shiesty on his
yeah,
behalf. And
yeah.
it's like you don't have to do that.
You
And
don't.
you should be at the point where you're not looking at your brothers, your OTF brothers as hitmen, but you're looking at them as brothers that you can put in position
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stop being the dude who's bringing all the guns to the hood and stuff. Like you adding on to the issue. Like I love
hmm,
the image change that he was going for, but the execution behind the scenes, especially with the whole NBA young boy situation or
yeah,
whatever got him caught up,
yeah,
that's where I feel he went wrong at because he was cool, he was good, people was respecting him. They was
yeah,
like, okay, you changing the narrative, you still talking what you talking, but like you had said, do what you got to do to get on, and
hmm,
then you switch it up on them because
yeah,
as young black men, we gotta get our foot in the door.
yeah,
We gotta play our part until we play something else, until we
hmm,
choose to switch it up and do something more positive. So I'm not mad at him for taking advantage of the drill wave
yeah,
because it made sense. And that was his avenue to get his foot in that industry.
yeah,
But like you said, once he gets to a certain point, a certain level, that's when you change some stuff up. You can
yeah,
keep it in the music to a degree because that's where your bread and butter at.
yeah,
People
yeah,
wasn't really looking at you for your music anymore. People really was leaning more towards Dirk for his flows and stuff, but mainly his situation with India.
yeah. He
The
did have some
focus
bangers too. The little love
he
songs went
did. He
crazy.
did. He did. That India song was crazy. He did.
Yeah,
But I really feel like his image and like the focus of him went a little bit away from his music and more to him as a person.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's what I feel was helping to change the narrative of the city.
yeah.
But he messed up. But we could be on that forever, brother.
Yeah, yeah. Look, we're gonna get to talk about music in the industry, and we're gonna go down the rabbit
You
hole.
feel me? You feel me? You feel me? So the next question is what was the are you certified?
As far as barbering,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I got my license and everything.
Okay, cool. So my next question is what was the process of you getting your certification?
I ain't gonna lie to you, it was a blessing, man. So I was in the military. I just recently got out in November. And the military looked out for me. One of the bonuses that I had was I can go to any school that I wanted to. So it could have been like a traditional school or a trade school. And the barbering one is the one that I wanted to go. Uh, so they allowed me to go. They gave me 6 months of like no work, just going straight to school. After that, I had to switch over to night schools and all of that. But it was a smooth setup. The military paid for everything for me. I don't owe nobody. All I had to do is go there and get good grades. So for my situation, it was different for a lot of people. It was expensive as heck, but it wasn't my money, so I didn't really care. You know. But my
Well,
situation was decent.
that's what's up. You got
Yeah.
like a real good chance to invest in yourself.
Oh yeah, 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 definitely.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So before I ask this next question, I want you to tell the audience your own personal perspective on how important it is to invest in yourself.
Man, I feel like that is the most important thing, right under having your faith and your religion, right? I feel like you're supposed to have yourself as a priority. You're supposed to invest in yourself. If you're not investing in yourself and you looking for, that clout from everybody else, you always gonna be disappointed. You always gonna be let down because you're gonna get a influx of everything. if you're true to yourself and you're investing in yourself, you know that you're not going to let yourself down. So I feel like that's a priority to having longevity in whatever field that you finna be in, and just within sustaining in life. That's how you don't become susceptible to the stuff that's going on in the city. You know, a lot of people don't have pride in themselves. They don't invest in themselves. They
Mm,
invest in all of this other jazz, and and I feel like that's a lot of people's destruction, or that's the start of a lot of people's destruction.
and I had another question, but I want to ask this because this just came to my mind. I had
Yeah,
one
yeah.
prepared, but I want
Hmm.
to ask this one.
Oh, let's go for it.
So, all right, for sure. So, can you give me your perspective and viewpoint on just the mindset in Chicago on just like the fast life? When I say the fast life, I mean having in your mind of how young you gonna die
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and how blessed and how much of a blessing it is and how much of a blessing and how big of a deal it is that to us that we make it to an 18th birthday.
Yep, yeah. So I've been in those situations, man. I had teachers and everything because I have not always been. Well, I'm still not a 100% saint. I got my flaws and everything to this day. But back then, I used to fall a victim to a lot of things that I shouldn't have been a part of. I had teachers and stuff. Man, you're not gonna make it to your 16th birthday and all of this other stuff. And after I made it to my 16th, you're not gonna see it till your 18th or your 21st. So me making it to those points, it was like, yeah, it's a milestone for everybody, because you made it to 16 and 21, because that's when you technically adult and all of that. But in the city, it hits different. Because
It
it's like,
do.
bro, every day that I walk out of this thing, I have a high chance of getting caught by either a stray bullet or, false identity or, because I look like somebody down the street or because I'm
Hmm.
affiliated or friends with somebody. So making it to those milestones was tremendous for anybody that's in the city. So we I feel like the people that's from big cities, not just Chicago, birthdays, especially those big ones, hold a whole lot of weight, a whole lot more weight. After I
Oh
make it to
yeah.
21, oh, you're not gonna make it to 25, or you're gonna be, drugged out and selling drugs and all this other stuff. And at 25, I was in the military. I got uh, the heck away from the city and all of that, and I had a pretty sustainable lifestyle. So um making it to all of those milestones and going against and being better than everything that everybody said, that's one thing. Like, even if I'm at my worst, in a whole new location, it's like, bro, you made it to your 16th, you made it
Hmm.
to your 18th, you made it to your
Hmm.
21st, then your 25th. Like, if you're still here, man, you still got that gives me that drive to continue to go on, man. Made it through a whole lot of worse situations, and now it's just going with emotions, taking the punches, rolling with them, and da 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 da.
Okay. Okay, man.
Mm.
I appreciate that response, brother.
No, it ain't no problem at all, bro. Ain't no problem.
So with you saying that it gave you this drive, the fact that you were still here, it gave you this drive. It
Mm,
kind of got my gears turning and spinning, and it got me to this question. Well, is I guess this is a question, but let's talk about like how the perspective, like how like with the youth, right?
hmm
How it's just a lack of not just a lack of knowledge of self,
hmm
but also just a lack of purpose.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
them dying and putting themselves, like, don't get me wrong, some of them get thrown into these situations, but the ones that we know, the ones that don't have to live that kind of life, but they choose that kind of life.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
feel me?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like speaking on them, like the ones that don't have that purpose or don't feel like they don't have a real purpose to live, so they just waking up every day, living life to die.
Hmm. Um, I guess I'm finna just elaborate on it because it wasn't like so I'm gonna just elaborate on it. I agree with you. Not too long ago, I tried to do a podcast. It was called Agree to Disagree. And that was one of the things that we spoke about. It was you got two different ways to be raised. Like, you raised off of love or you raised off survival.
Hmm.
Uh, and in Chicago, I feel like a lot of us, like, it starts at the crib. A lot of people at the house, they see their mama struggling and she doing whatever she got to do to, make ends meet, and then that instills like this. All right, bro, I got to get it, or I'm gonna end up homeless or out in the streets or not have food.
Right.
So that leads people to start selling drugs and doing whatever to make ends meet. Then from there, it's like you don't have a purpose. Like you're so focused on, all right, I gotta pay this next bill. I gotta, get food. I gotta get groceries. I gotta do this, that, and the third. So you're not really focusing on who am I or what am I supposed to be contributing to the world. Your primary focus is, hey, I gotta make it to tomorrow. And I feel like that's a luxury that a lot of people in the lower income areas, not just Chicago, but all of the big cities, small cities, Kansas,
Hmm.
whatever else. That's a luxury that a lot of us don't have. We're so focused on making it to the next day. And that's what contributes to the fast life. I know you tapped on that a little bit too. Um, Being from the city, you don't know when your last day is. So every day you have to live it like your last. And that's why I feel like they
Mm.
out there splurging all of the money on looking nice and doing all of this other jazz because tomorrow ain't promised. And it's a lot of people where that is a factual statement, and if you around that so much, that conditions your mind. Like when I go back to the city, you hear about, oh yeah, it was a drive by at a funeral home and this, that, and the third, and so many people got killed. It's like, okay, just keep going on through the news. I'm trying to hit the weather. Like you become numb to that,
Exactly.
man.
Yeah,
But it still affects how you maneuver and work out through life. You know.
it does, man. Like it just we so desensitized to not just Chicago, but like
Yeah.
you said, the big all big inner cities.
Yep.
Like, but I'm gonna speak from Chicago because that's where I'm
That's
from.
what. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
feel me?
Yeah.
Like, just so desensitized to the death.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like you said, it's numb. Like I'll never forget. It was like a few times my mom, we was just in the kitchen. I think I was like 14, something like that.
Yeah.
And I was eating a bowl of cereal. I ain't had my phone at the time, so I'm looking at the back of the cereal box. That was my TV at the time.
Yeah.
You feel me? You feel me? So yeah, so I was just eating my cereal, and my mom just casually say, hey son. I'm like yeah. She's like, guess who died? And I said, who? And then she had said, such and such, somebody around the neighborhood. And I was like, oh dang,
That's
okay.
crazy. Right.
And
But
that's
then it's like, yeah.
exactly man, that's crazy, man, that's crazy. What?
They continue to read your
Ah,
box, bro. Look.
exact, and it shouldn't be like that.
No, it shouldn't.
It
We had a
shouldn't be
whole
like
routine
that.
for drive-bys. Like, I stayed in the lower part of the city or whatever. Drive-bys come, drop to the ground. Everybody, turn off the lights, close the blinds, and all that. Like we had a whole routine, and we used to practice it like it was a fire drill or something. It's like no child should,
That's
to
sad.
live life and everything like that, man. And it affects your mentality. It affects how you maneuver. Like it affects our trust in other people. Like, all right, bro, I don't know what you want. I don't know what's to you. I don't know you like you're not one of the big homies and none of that. And I'm iffy as heck about
Hmm.
maneuvering or being vulnerable with you. So that lifestyle, that fast life, it plays into so many different parts of your being, man. And it's the reason why I feel like we are the way that we are.
There's a
But
lot of trauma there.
yeah, it also makes us resilient little beings. It ain't nothing that
That's
I
true.
ain't never seen somebody from the city stay down too long. That we
That's
always
true.
found a way.
Bounce back game crazy.
Yeah, yeah,
For sure.
yep.
Man. So let's this ain't written down, but
Hmm.
again, it's flowing right now.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
I do want to speak on like because we talked about how young men they see their mom struggling and they
Hmm.
instantly put some kind of in like a protective slash provider mode.
Yeah.
Like I got to go get it. I got like Mom Dukes. We got to make sure the house straight. Woo, woo.
Hmm.
So how about this? Let's talk about the lack of father presence in these kinds of environments and just how much that impacts the youth,
Yeah,
especially young men
yeah,
having to be
man.
put in that that husband slash son role.
Yeah. Uh, Man, that crap happens dang near every day. Um, So I'm gonna speak from my own personal experience.
All right.
Remember one time when I was super young. I don't remember how old we were, but I know we got evicted from our crib and we had to sleep on you know what the L is? Well, you know the L.
Yeah, the train. Yeah.
So we had to sleep on the L on a little the stairway going up. We were sleeping on the L, and I remember
Mm,
that night seeing my mama crying, telling me everything would be okay, and that's all of this and the third. And I remember at that age, I was like, you know what, I got to make something shake. I don't like seeing
right.
my mama cry. I don't like being out here in these predicaments, and this that, and the third. Uh, and it encouraged me to move in a certain type of way to make sure that my mama didn't have to go through whatever that she went through. Then tapping on the father's thing, in some cases the father is not the best option to be around. If he was present, you would probably be down a darker path. And I know for
That's
me,
true.
me
That's
personally,
true.
that's what it was. My pops was involved in some wild stuff, and it's a good thing that I
Mm,
didn't know him until I got older in age. Well, I didn't meet him until we got older in age. Because if I was around him and that was my role model, I
right.
wouldn't be right here talking to you today. So for me personally, it was a good thing that my father wasn't there. I did have to grow up at an extremely young age, and I didn't really get to enjoy like the childhood things, like, oh, let's go color and make go karts down the street and all this other stuff. I had to grow up, and I always had to selling fruities at school, or chips and all of that. That's back when it was 25. You selling for 50. Do a quick flip, and then you maneuvering off of that. So it did force me to be essentially a adult. I had little siblings that I had to walk to school, get ready, make sure
Mm,
they protected, make sure they doing homework because mom's working triple shifts and she ain't at the crib, and so it did force you or put us in a predicament where we had to grow up extremely fast, and we didn't get to enjoy that childhood or embrace that like the traumas that we had from back then, and in return, you got adults that's essentially broken, you know. Like my kids they be
wow.
trying to live and just go run around and play and all this other stuff, and I'm like, man, you better go outside and go find a way to make this money. And it's like I shouldn't be saying that. I should be having them out here, enjoying life, living off of the sun and being free, like enjoying that freedom. But it still affects me to this day, as it does with a lot of other people. It's a lot of trauma that I see in other people, and then I see it because I'm a part of that trauma, and I hate to see it, but I don't know, man. Sometimes fathers are a good thing, and they're needed, in a home. But for my situation, and speaking from what I went through, it wasn't good. It was better that he stayed whatever he was at, and I seen him when I seen him.
Wow.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And I can only speak for mine. I could say, "Oh,
Yeah.
yes, fathers are needed," and and do the typical worldly answer for it, which is
Right.
true. Not saying that it's not true, but for my situation, him being around would not have been a move for me.
But I love that you went there. That you went there though,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
this is real and this speaks logic. You feel me?
yeah,
Let
yeah,
me stop playing. But for real though, like you kept it 100, and I appreciate that because that is the political correct answer, and that is like, and it's true
yeah,
when it's the right influence
yeah.
and they have the right example, and
Hmm.
they are something that's respectable to look up to. But you saying your personal experience, I'm sure a lot of people actually can relate to that
Yeah.
and feel like, dang, you know what? I'm glad my pops wasn't in the crib. Or you know what?
Hmm.
I wish he was there, but at the same time,
Hmm.
nah. Or they probably had their pops in the crib the whole time, and it could have been like a little domestic or
Yeah,
crazy stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
So that's true, man. I love that you spoke on it like that. And you gave a whole nother perspective to that. 'Cause I didn't even think about approaching that in that way.
yeah, yeah,
And that's why I love conversations
yeah,
because you getting different perspectives from people outside of you, outside of your own lived experiences.
yeah.
You get to get put on to new information, which is why another thing you need to definitely know is that it's important to always remain teachable.
I promise you it is. Regardless of how old you get, and you always know that what was that old phrase? Trying to learn something new every day. Like that used to be something I was like, man, shut up talking to me with that noise. But legit, it's like now it's like something I try to live by. Every day I'm trying to do something new, and I hate that I waited so long, but I tried skydiving, scuba diving, and all this other stuff. And it's like that's something that we don't do from the city. I'm done. Man, I ain't finna do all that stupid stuff. I'm finna go out here and buy this, this Peli or whatever the new thing is
Hmm.
now for, but you don't get to experience life, man. Like it's so much stuff that we got out here that's not even like scuba diving stuff that costs money, but like free stuff like photography, with your iPhone, because everybody got these famous super complex phones now.
Yeah.
Go outside and take pictures and just like capture life, capture the seasons and all of that. And I feel like that's not what a lot of our youth, that's not even an option to them. Like I'm finna
Mm.
go on a whole rant, right? I played the violin when I was in grammar school. Wildest thing, I think I was the only black person in there. It was a white dude, but he was black because he was from the city, and he went through the same thing we went through. But it was only like what, five of us in there. The majority was females. It was me and then the white dude. So I used to get clowned for that. And I love playing it and everything. But when I get out there, boy, you goofy as heck. Like, oh, why you up here playing this little da 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 da, doing all of this? They took us to not an opera. What do you call it? An orchestra? I forgot what you call it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we went to one of them. I loved it. I loved it. It was a field trip or something. Everybody else talking, doing a little spitballs through the straws and all of that. And I'm intensely in tune with it. But I let society and my environment be like, bro, that's goofy. You need to be doing something else, playing ball or football, or some sport or whatever to be, you know, cool in life and to have like a lucrative business.
Hmm.
And in reality, I could have been, some famous musician, playing the instrumentals or, doing whatever else in somebody's orchestra. They make a decent amount of money as well. Um, but I let society influence me to, step away from all of that. Still dip and dabble in music and all of that, but it's more of a on some little Dirk side or trying to be super conscious. It's not, what my roots were like the instruments and all of that. I just went on a whole
Dang.
tangent, bro. My bad.
Nah, no, bro,
I didn't
bro.
mean
We
for it.
having a conversation.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You good? Like I like to run my podcast authentically.
Yeah. Oh,
You
I
feel
love
me?
it. I love
Like,
it. Yeah.
yeah, we having a conversation. You feel me?
I hope I tapped in on the question. Though. I don't want to do a
You
whole rant and
did.
I
You
sway away
did. You
from
did.
everything.
You did. And you actually not only just touched on the question, but you had actually spoke on something important, which
Yeah.
is being true to yourself and what you really want to do. And
Yeah.
we really do get in our own ways a lot. We get in
Hmm.
our own ways as individuals and as communities.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
literally, like you lame for doing this. Man, I could have landed me a 7-figure job doing this, but nah,
Living a
like
lavish life, but I'm over here trying to keep
exactly.
up with the Joneses. Now I'm looking stupid. Yeah.
Exactly. And so that was raw. I like that, man.
Yeah.
And that's so important, not even just in the hood, but just in general,
Yeah.
society period. Society, like you can't win with people.
No, you
Some
can't.
people gonna like you, some people just not. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a likable person. I am, you know, and I know that because I'm pretty, cause
Hey,
I'm
look, toot your
so
horn, bro. I ain't mad at it.
you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. I'm a real cool dude. Real
Yeah.
chill, laid back, and all, you know what I'm saying? I'm cool.
Yeah.
But at the same time though, I really don't care
Mm.
what people have to say about me. Like,
And you
to a
got to keep that,
degree.
bro. That's
To a degree. Because we all have, I'm gonna keep it 100. We all got that doubtful thought in the back of our mind
yeah.
of like, I shouldn't even do this, da 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 da.
Hmm.
Like, for instance, I'm gonna be 100, and this has nothing to do with you. But before we even got on this podcast, I was like, dang, okay, we finna podcast. Is this finna go good? I don't know. Am I finna ask the right
Yeah.
questions? I don't know. Is he gonna like the questions? But then you had texted me, you was like, we still good? Like letting me know, like, hey, we still on for the podcast. And
Hmm.
that's when I had snapped out of it. I said, you know what? We finna get this podcast.
Yep. Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
So
And
look,
I'm
I was the
glad we
same way,
did.
bro. I feel it. When I was talking to Les, like, hey man, what he finna ask me, man? You just did this earlier. What's finna go on? Is he finna catch me off guard and have me, looking crazy or something? And after like you said, you get caught in your own head, man. Um,
Yeah.
then I tried to have like a optimistic outlook on everything. I'm like, bro, trying to get his podcast up and running. I wish I had people to, support me or to, say that they're down to do X, Y, and Z, just off of the strength of love, man. So
No, I
it's like, all
appreciate
right,
that.
bro. He trying to rock and roll. We finna go on and we finna show out. Whatever it's finna be, we finna act out on it, bro. So here we are now, and everything is cool. I guess naturally flowing. Like the question's not outrageous. Even if you did ask outrageous questions, I'm finna give you some outrageous answers. But
Hey, that's real. But I wouldn't
yeah.
even have you out there like that.
No. I'm just saying, like you said, for example, outrageous or not even outrageous. A sketchy question is like, do you believe in gender roles or something like that? Like I thought it was gonna be
That's
that type of
crazy.
vibe, and I was
Nah,
finna get to it.
nah.
look, look.
Nah, nah. I be tiptoeing around certain questions myself, but But no, I'm glad that you. I appreciate you, man,
No,
for
no, I
coming on here.
appreciate you, bro.
Like this love, man. Like I appreciate that for real, because you
Yeah.
get like you got the whole. Oh yeah, I'ma see, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be on that, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't take it personal because I get the game. I've been, in this space for a while.
Yeah.
So I understand. Well, like you mean it in that moment, but at
Mm-hmm.
the same time, things come up, then you may feel differently another day. Like, you know what? I don't know. He ain't
Yeah.
bring it up. I ain't finna bring it up. Like, So yeah, I appreciate that. We
No, it's
we
all love, bro.
likewise.
Yeah.
And we running up to 50 minutes. I ain't even asked all my prepared questions.
No.
All right, we gonna wrap it up in 10 minutes.
I
Let me
got you. I
see.
got you.
Let me choose from these. Oh, okay, this is a good one. What is your end goal for barbering? Do you want to own your barbershop or own your own barbershop, run a barber school, or use it to transition to a completely different field?
So all of the above, except for not transitioning. I do want to open a barber school, and I do want to do like a more affordable way. Because barbering school right now is like 27,000. And a lot of people are gonna sway away from that because that's crazy. That's a lot. You can go to a traditional school for that
Yeah.
amount. So I want to do a more cost effective school to bring in like the people that don't feel like they have other options or don't like school, so they want to find a trade to get into. So I do want to teach. I have been giving like little classes to people in the military that want to learn cuts, just to do something like as a pastime, or individuals that's like they don't know if they really finna get into the field, so they just testing it out before they, spend that lump sum of money on that. Um, and I do. I want to have schools, chains. I want all of the above, man. I gotta try to
Okay.
be as ambitious as I possibly can, and that's what also keeps me driven.
That's what's up. I
Yeah.
could tell that not only are you a think of the bigger picture kind of guy when it
Hmm.
comes to like how you move and stuff, but you also think that big with your goals too.
Yeah. 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 Look,
That's
I
huge.
got Dr. Liz as a wife. You can't beat nothing. You can't have nothing less. She
That's
she
facts
pushed me
because
to be the best.
phenomenal woman.
Yeah,
Phenomenal.
yeah, yeah.
Wow. So like that's important. You already know how important that is because I had heard I think J. Cole said it.
Yeah.
He said when you want your dreams to really happen and to
Mhm.
come into fruition, you gotta be a little delusional.
You have to be. You have to be. You have to be. I was just talking to Dr. Liz about that the other day. Hey, I'm finna be delusional as heck, but I'm finna try to make something shake. Because even if what I think Benny Siegel said it, even if you shoot for the star for the sun or something, and if you don't make it, you are still amongst the stars. So even if I don't
Hmm.
reach that, the barbershop chains and the low income schools and all of that, if even if I'm a couple meters shy of that, I'm still up there with the greats with it, man. And that's how I look at it. Honestly, that's how I look at it. And so when I was in school, one of the things that they told us to do was just be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And
That's
I
good.
take that with life. Like if I'm in an uncomfortable situation, that means I wasn't knowledgeable about it, and this is a learning experience, and this is how we finna run it. Like with this podcast, it was an uncomfortable thing at first, but it's like, you know what, bro, let's rock and roll it. This is something that you wanted to do actually so long ago. This is something that he's, doing right now, and he's finna grow into something way bigger. Be a part of it. Be a part of the future. Be a part of the change. So got comfortable with being uncomfortable, and here we are. Chopping it up and talking about everything under the sun. And
Dang, that's crazy. Like the unknown could be so scary though.
yeah, always, always.
And it's like, and sometimes that fear could paralyze, like can
Mhm.
stop you from doing things that's could really propel you for real.
Yeah,
So let me ask you this real quick, and I got a couple more questions before we dip out.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
What was dang, I lost my train of thought. That's messed up. Dang. That was a good question too. I'm gonna ask another question and hopefully you come back.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
All right, so back to the whole superficial barber and all that stuff, the
Hmm.
barber content going on. I've been wanting to ask somebody this question so bad. So, what is your take on the new style of barbers and the use of enhancements for haircuts?
I'm all for it, man. Everything has its wave. A lot of people are going bald a lot sooner. Their hair is thinning. They got all of this weird stuff going on. Like just recently, I went to a class for like hair pieces for men. That is it's the way of the future. If you want to have a
Mm,
lucrative barbering setup, yeah, like, yeah, you're supposed to have a foundation. Don't get me wrong. You are definitely supposed to have your foundation. You're supposed to be able to, set the lines in right. To have a immaculate fade without enhancements. And the enhancements are just supposed to do that, enhance it for the pictures or for the wedding or whatever that the person is going to. So I feel like it was a way to elevate the game, the barbering game. So I'm not all the way against it. It's overused now, but I'm not 100% against it.
I feel that because I'm like, dang, enhancements. But then I go to the comment section and I'm like, they low key right.
Yeah,
Cause
yeah.
like the guys in the comments, they like females, they just like, oh y'all fake, y'all wearing all these enhancements, and it's like y'all they got wigs, lace
Makeup, like
fronts,
panel
you know
stuff,
what I'm
We
saying?
just trying to keep up with
Lashes.
y'all.
You feel me? Like lashes,
Yeah,
fingernail, all type of stuff. So that's when I was like, you know what? Maybe it ain't that bad.
yeah. It ain't that bad.
Maybe it
They
ain't
be
that
doing too
bad.
much sometimes, but it ain't that bad.
They do. I saw one real bad. I ain't
Yeah.
gonna lie.
When it look like
It was
the
terrible.
hair is painted on there, you did too much, my boy. If they got like a natural look, but it's like popping, you good. You know?
And I'm glad that you said that about if it looked like it's sprayed on too
Yeah.
much, because that brings me to this question that I've been wanting to answer to. What is that hairline chalk stuff? I'm not educated.
Man, I ain't gonna lie to you. Okay. I don't like it. I use it sometimes if need be. If I'm trying to take pictures or record content, I use it. But essentially, it's like a contour. You know how women do the little stuff for their eyes, and it makes like their
Hmm.
eyebrows pop more. That's essentially what it is. So if you got the right color to complement the right skin complexion or the right skin tone, then it looks natural and it makes the line pop out more. That white chalk that they be doing on everybody, that is not how that stuff is supposed to look. So they're misusing it. So that's not the way, man. If you conceal it right, it looks beautiful.
Okay, I need to look up some well done pictures
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
when I was on a bus, like I think a year ago, probably 2 years ago, it was
Hmm.
this one guy. He was real cool. And he had a high fade with some twists.
Yeah.
It was like kind of red, more black, and
Hmm.
then he had like the chalk was all right here, like it
Yeah.
was outside the hairline space, and it had like some red in there too, but it was like mainly just like real chalked out, and I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I don't get that, like what is that?
I don't
And
get it either, man. I don't know when
I've
that
been wanting to
blackboard
know.
look became a thing, but that's what they doing now.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure that one out. Oh, this is a good one. Ooh, I forgot I wrote this one. Oh, I forgot I said this. All right. How do you feel about clients cheating on their barber by getting their haircut somewhere else?
That is despicable. Those are some devious, defiant people, bro. Uh, Me personally, hey, unless you got circumstances that just completely took you out the system or took you away for it, you had to pick somebody else. I feel like for a man, bro, that means that you're not loyal with a lot of things in life, and that speaks on your character.
Wow, for real?
For real. You switching up barbers every week. Then you got to think about it, man. Everybody cuts hair differently. So you got 16 different hairstyles over a matter of a couple months. And then you go back to the OG barber because you test it out, see if the grass is greener. It wasn't greener. Now the OG barber got to fix everything, he got to go back through the regrowth process with you, and that'd be a whole ordeal, man. Like if you just stick to your barber, you'll be all right. They get used to your hair, they know all of your ins and outs, and who wants to keep telling their life story over and over and over again, or who keeps one of the like with my clients, man, you walk in there, I already know what you're trying to get. Unless you tell me like, oh, I'm trying to try something new. I know what you finna get. I'm finna ask you about what happened with your kids last week at their recital and some more jazz. But if you keep going to new places, man, I don't feel like you get that relationship. And I feel like it speaks on your character. Like
Mm,
you bouncing around on your barber, you probably bouncing around on your old lady, and you
that's
ain't got no
hilarious.
stability in your life.
So what if somebody is like they out of town and their haircut is like real down bad?
That's one of them circumstances. You got a job interview or something else going on, then I got you, man. Go get your haircut. I'm gonna talk
No,
crap when you get back, but do your thing.
ain't no job interview. They just want the haircut.
Should have got it cut prior to. Hey, tell
So
me
they
that
got.
you could. I had a buddy went on a 2 week cruise, and this is before I got out here to Vegas. He was like, "Hey man, I'm finna go on this cruise. I ain't trying to let nobody touch my hair, X, Y, and Z. Can you cut it lower than what you would usually do?" I love it. I love you, bro. You're the MVP. So I cut it shorter. He hasn't got a haircut, and he just hit me up yesterday, like, "Hey man, when you coming back? I waited this X amount of time. I'm trying to get my hair cut again." I rock a situation like that. If you're going on a trip for a little bit, prepare for it. Get your hair cut a little bit lower, and I'll give you. And with me, I'm never trying to withhold information. So I'll probably, hey, if you want to keep it looking fresh for an extended period of time, go buy this spray from a beauty supply or whatever, and just tap it on there like this, like I'm doing, and you'll be good for like another couple days or whatever. So to keep my clients happy and the loyal, I try to do like a little bit extra with it,
That's what's up. Some barbers be real particular with that.
man. Man, no, I'm not like that.
I get it though. They want you coming back
Yeah,
as much as as much as you can.
yeah.
So this is the last question
Hmm.
until I come up with another one. But I'm sure this is gonna wrap it up. What are the most popular hairstyles for young black men in today's time?
Man, so you definitely got the fros with the free forms, and they just want the hot tapers on the side. Then you also got the people with the locks. That actually it depends on what region you in. Because when I was over in Georgia, you had the people with the big, bulky trifling looking locks, and it wasn't like the individual neat ones. And that's their thing what they be doing down there. So they'll just get a lineup or whatever. You go to Chicago, New York, you got the mid tapers or the mid phase, the low phase, low tapers. And I haven't been out here long enough to see what it is. I've been predominantly seeing Hispanics with mid tapers and stuff. I don't really see too many black people with anything that like pops out here.
Okay. So my last part of the podcast
Mhm.
is: do you have any last words that you want to get off to the audience?
It's a few things. I'm gonna say the first one is to be true to who you are. If you do that, you're guaranteed to succeed. My second thing, I think I heard Will Smith, some actor said, some of the best experiences are on the other side of fear. And lastly,
Hmm.
what do I got to say? Lastly, stop the violence for the people in the city. Stop all of the violence, man. Sit down, go read a book.
Dang. And with that, we're going to close. Normally, I have something else to say too, but I don't even want to say nothing else after that. I
No,
want that
yo,
to
you
be the,
got it, bro. You got
you know what
it.
I'm saying? I want that to be the last remaining message.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's stop the violence.
yep.
Facts. All right, man. Well, this has been the Realness Meets Logic podcast. Zay, thank you so much for being such a stand-up guy and coming on this podcast with me and kicking it with me, having this cool, fun,
Hmm.
authentic, real, and logical conversation, man. Like I really do appreciate this.
I appreciate the invitation, and it was my pleasure. In all honesty, I had fun doing this. You motivated me to try to kick something off.
Oh, you should. And if you got
Yeah.
a podcast, let me know.
Yep, I got you, bro. I got you.
All right, y'all. So this has been episode 4 of the Realness Meets Logic podcast. Like, share this video. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, turn that
Hmm.
notification bell on so you can be notified for any more fire drops. Because let's be honest, it's a lot of podcasters. Some people need to get their mic snatched from them. Let's be
Yeah,
real.
a lot of them. Yeah.
But, but who gonna do it like me? You feel me? Like this real and logical content,
Hmm.
real, authentic, and it makes sense. Come on, you can't beat that. Like,
And
so
look,
go
and we
ahead.
ain't cursing it up. We not misogynist with
Exactly.
it. We not saying, hey, bash all of the women. We not doing none of that, man. We trying to elevate the community, and I love you for that, bro.
Man, thank you, brother. Man, you know
Yeah.
how hard it is? Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, I already told you a little bit of it, like when we was at
Hmm.
that office opening. Like, literally, it was hard to like, and I thought being real was like cussing up a storm and all that stuff, just
Yeah.
being raw and uncut. But
Hmm.
we still was able to touch on real raw topic and conversations without
Yeah.
using a lick of a cuss word. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
that's power within itself.
Hmm.
And that shows just how much language really can impact a community.
Yeah.
And also, like, when you approach certain situations a certain way, it's people can't take people serious if
Yeah.
they approach it in a certain way. Like, you go on somebody's face or somebody's place of establishment or business, you just cussing all over the place and just being
Hmm.
automatically, for us, it's either you the angry black woman or you the angry black man.
Yep.
So the fact that we was able to do this alone was a clear, good example. But yeah, like, I appreciate you, Zay. Y'all subscribe on
Yeah, most
YouTube. If you
definitely.
on
They better
Spotify,
subscribe, man.
for sure, man. If y'all on Spotify, y'all follow the podcast. Y'all on YouTube, y'all subscribe. We on Spotify and YouTube right now. The podcast is growing. Apple,
Hmm.
we coming for you. Not right now. We
But we kind
progressing.
of he coming.
But we coming. We coming. But yeah, like this up and share this content if you feel like it relates to or resonates to anybody who you want to share it to. And even if you feel it don't, still send it anyway, because they might pick up on some gems that they may need to hear
Yeah.
that they didn't even think they would need to hear. So share that content, like it, subscribe on YouTube, follow on Spotify, and we out. Peace.
Yeah. Yeah.